Hello and welcome to Made TV Live. My name's Charles Boneham from Boneham Turner and I'm this week's editor. Today we have with us Bernard from Kuka Robotics, Will, apprentice engineer from Bri-Stor, Liz, managing director from LG Davis, Aidan Turnbull, chief of staff across Russell Industries, including Prima. The topics that we're going to cover today are articles which the companies have put out. So Kuka have written an article, Our Commitment to British and Irish Manufacturing. Bri-Stor have written an article, 13 new apprentices set to join Bri-Stor and Alpha Manufacturing. LG Davis, Birmingham printing specialist, expands its reach as it acquires a local firm to add to its portfolio. And we have Prima awarded silver in the UK Defence Employees Recognition Scheme. The first question I'd like to put to Bernard from Kuka Robotics. So Bernard, why is Britain and Ireland such an important market for Kuka, and is there more potential here than other countries?
To address the very first part of that, the market for robotics worldwide is measured in the average per 10,000 employees employed in manufacturing. If I tell you that the world average is currently 113, the UK is down at 91. We don't even rank in the top 20. So that means that there is great potential for further growth. And the strategic decision to develop the Irish market, where we have a full service and sales facility, was taken way back in 2011 due to the fact that the Irish sector is very, very buoyant in the life sciences sectors. So as far as growth is concerned, we've been growing year on year, and I can only see that continuing.
Okay, yeah. And with the majority of your business being catapult centres, universities and possibly OEMs, do you expect to see a time where the vast majority of UK manufacturers, including SMEs under 1 million turnover, will be using these types of robot? And how many years will this take?
Well, technically, there's a slight error in there. Our biggest market isn't the catapult and the centres, but it is a very strategic market for us. And we have a very large share of that sector. And we work very closely with the SMEs and the catapult centres, the AMRCs, etc. I think the real key here is the advent of easy to program robots coming onto the market back in 2010. And that has meant that SMEs, one, have an easy route to market where traditionally they wouldn't have even looked at it. And secondly, it's opened up new opportunities. So all I can see is more and more growth, funded largely through the government agencies like Innovate UK and the catapults.
Okay. Over the next decade, do you think robots will help create or cut jobs in UK manufacturing? And please explain why.
I think this is one of the questions, as a guy that is out there selling automation on a daily basis, we get asked regularly, more or less every day. My answer would be that automation actually will create jobs. It's a well-known fact. It doesn't detract from jobs. Robots do the things that humans now don't want to do. So again, I'll refer back to the easy to program. It's making robots available in all sectors, everything. I mean, traditionally it was automotive manufacturing. Now you pick an industry, there's automation, there's robots in it. So all I see is expanding growth for people that invest in automation, and they will in turn be more competitive, and therefore the business will grow.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think so as well. Yeah, I think there's yeah, definitely. I mean, as soon as the robot's in place, it's not that person's redundant. They find something more constructive to do, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And there's many case studies to prove that.
Yeah. Okay, well, thanks very much, Bernard. I'll move over to Will now from Bri-Stor. So you've got your article about recruiting 13 apprentices. So recruiting 13 apprentices seems a lot. Is this larger than normal recruitment? And if so, why did you feel the need to onboard more apprentices than normal?
Okay, so 13 apprentices have started today. So I've welcomed them to JCB Academy. I've been up there this morning to welcome them. But it's not just 13 apprentices this year. We have 13 apprentices doing our advanced manufacturing in technical support technicians. So they're doing level 3, and they'll go through over a 3-year period. But we've also got additional apprenticeships been on offer this year as well. We've taken on 3 apprentices currently in welding fabrication, and they're using another training provider, Stafford College. And we're also taking on 7 higher apprentices as well over the group. So this year, our total is over 23 apprentices that we're taking this year. The reason why, as a business, we decided to take on apprentices each year and growing each year is there's a skill void and a skill gap in the market of young people who were not encouraged to go into engineering, perhaps for one reason or another, and to fill that and to fill the workforce for the future and future-proof our business. It's essential as a business that we do take on apprentices, and I feel that's supported now by the government in many ways, especially with the apprentice funding and apprentice levy, which we do utilise, obviously, to take on all these apprentices each year. So it's not just 13 apprentices. We've got apprentices across the group, different jobs, so in IT, marketing, sales. We're taking on apprentices, and it's a growth to our industry.
Okay, yeah. With so many teachers and parents trying to steer young people towards university, and also with a generation that possibly is attracted to working from home career, how difficult was it to find good candidates for the apprenticeships?
Well, let's go look. The time I've been doing this apprenticeship management now for the group has been the last 6 years, and each year I've found it hard to get into schools. But now that it's actually a requirement for schools to give students the opportunity to experience engineering and world of work, it's actually easier to get in. However, teachers generally know a lot about the education sector, and they'll steer people towards that. They don't know, sometimes they don't know about the world of work outside of the education sector. So the information that getting across to students is really hard. So to get into the schools, to recruit for apprenticeships, is quite tricky. You have the first half of the academic year where you can get into schools and speak to them. After that, the people, your target categories really are then closed down to do GCSEs and all their exams. So that becomes hard in itself. So what that's led us to do is to target proactive students, people who know that they want to go on apprenticeships lots as well. And we do that, and we target those by recruiting slightly earlier in the year. So by April time, we've normally tried to solidify our intake for the September. And by doing that, we're getting the right quality of candidates coming through year on year. Our name is now spreading through the local regions of apprentice providers and training. So it's getting easier, but it's still an uphill challenge. There's still a lot of work to do there to get teachers and parents on board.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of money to be made in career after apprenticeships, aren't there? And this mindset that someone has to go to university isn't necessarily right, I don't think. But
within our business, all of our managing directors have been through an apprenticeship scheme, and that was where they started their apprenticeship, and that's where they started their career. So apprenticeships really know no bounds. Having to go to university, taking on loans to get through university, and walking away with £50,000 worth of debt, which is potential, is taken away when you do an apprenticeship. You get the qualifications at the end of it. You've got experience in the industry and in sectors that you're interested in as well. So within that, it's such a strong and dominant area to move into for all young people.
Yeah. And just a last question. What changes in your workplace do you think your apprentices could expect to see over the next 20 to 30 years at Bri-Stor and Alpha Manufacturing?
Well, within the group of Bri-Stor Systems, Alpha Manufacturing, if we take, for example, look back over the last 5 years where we've come from. So 5 years ago, we were a vehicle conversion company and a sheet manufacturing company. Now we've diversified in our product range. We've got far more products out there that we are solidifying and becoming market leaders in our sales. Alpha Manufacturing has just launched and broken ground on a brand new factory. So Alpha Manufacturing chemical technology. So that's a great sector and provident to our company. We're a family-owned business, so we can diversify and change our role as we need to, which we did over the pandemic by securing additional pathways within our industry. So we're making products for different companies outside. So over the next 20 to 30 years, the business can move and diversify within its product range as customers arise and products are needed. We are leading manufacturers. We are high precision technology manufacturers in sheet metal, and we're leading the way in vehicle conversions. We're doing high amounts of welfare vehicles, which is new to us. We're doing product and power management coming off the vehicles as well. So what we've gone from and where we are now, it's changed a lot. Where we go into the future, again, it's going to continue to change. And hopefully, from my perspective, solidifying and keep on moving forward, progressing with the apprenticeship programs and making them better and better and continuing this gold standard that I've set for them. I hope this keep on going forward, and it's a great business to work for.
Okay. Well, thanks, Will. I'll move on to Liz now, Managing Director from LG Davis. So, Liz, I noticed in the article that you have acquired other printing businesses over the course of the last few years, the likes of Sable and Co, for example. What will the positive print acquisition bring to LG Davis and other acquisitions that other acquisitions haven't?
Well, each acquisition has brought a unique set of advantages for us as a business, and Positive Print won't be any different. We've gained additional printing equipment, which has increased our capacity, and it's also enabled us to have further capabilities. It provides us with a extra regional commercial customer base. We're looking at sort of expanding our customer base across the Midlands and beyond, and Positive will help us to do that. And we've also been fortunate to gain 2 new members of staff, very experienced, and they've settled in really quickly.
Okay. LG Davis has been established for 6 decades. What have been your best practices over the years to ensure this longevity?
Well, I think there's a number of things really I'd say. One is we always put our customers first. Since my dad started the business in 1962, it's been our mantra to be the best supplier our customers have. We look to find bespoke solutions for clients, not just a one-stop solution, and we listen and we offer expertise to enable complex issues to be achievable. Our desire to be innovative and our flexibility and our agility has helped us. We're not content to stand still. We look for ways to enhance our processes and make life simpler for clients. We offer a stock pick and pack solution for customers where they can take advantage of larger print runs but only have the goods as and when they need them. And we have an online portal, which is like a procurement hub. So across various sites, people find it easier to purchase off us. I also think our diverse customer base has helped us because it's enabled us to hone our skills and develop new ones. We've been privileged to work with fantastic clients over the years, and we've worked with the NHS for over 40 years, pioneers in bringing a print management system to the NHS. And the trust and the expertise we've brought to them now means we're preferred suppliers to many trusts across the country. We also worked with UK Athletics, and when they saw that our dedicated pick and pack team, they asked us to help with the GB kit out for the Olympics in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, which was a real rare opportunity for an SME such as ours. And last but not least, it's our dedicated team of staff. We're a bit like a family here. It's a family business, and many people have worked here for a long time, and we're determined to make LG Davis the best we can be. So the team, their skills, their expertise, and their dedication are certainly our biggest asset.
Okay, yeah. How many people have you got there, just out of interest at the moment?
44.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I mean that's all exciting stuff with the the Olympic team and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw a very young Tom Daly all those years ago. He was hiding from the media then while we were trying to kit him out with his. We couldn't get anything small enough at the time because he was only about 12 or 14, I think.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. It mentions in the article that LG Davis is passionate about innovating and supporting future growth in the industry. Other than acquiring other print companies, what other actions have you taken to stick to this ethos?
Well, print is a mature industry, and in the main, it's quite traditional. But as I say, we don't want to stand still as a company. We look at how we can improve all the time to make ourselves relevant for the ever-changing business demands, because everything's quicker and faster now. That means we have to listen and adapt. We're obviously made in the Midland members, and that means we can listen and learn from leading manufacturers in a variety of industries, and we can bring best practice back to here at LG Davis. I'm an ambassador for Be the Business, whose focus it is to look at how UK manufacturers can improve their productivity. And once again, I get to listen and learn from leading experts across the country. We work closely with Aston University and have been heavily involved with the Advanced Services team to implement servitization into the business, which for us, simply put, just means looking at how we can add value rather than just being product-led. And we're dedicated also to our staff. We want them to achieve their goals and reach their full potential. So we do internal, external mentoring and training. And I thought we were good because we want to bring 4 new apprentices into the business, but I feel a little bit like we're not at your level at Bri-Stor. But yeah, we believe it's going to be good to try and introduce new young blood into the industry as it is so mature, and try and make an exciting place for young people to come to. And we want to offer them the best kind of entry into the industry. So that's what we're trying to recruit. We've already got one on board, and he's proving to be a great asset.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's something I've got to constantly watch, bringing young people into the companies. Actually, there's a funny thing here. Actually, all of a sudden, I found myself as one of the oldest people in Boneham Turner, and it wasn't long ago when I was just one of the a bit of a whippersnapper on the shop floor. And it's amazing how quickly that changes, and you quickly become one of the eldest there. So yeah. Well, thank you, Liz. I'll move over to Aidan now. It's Prima. So yeah, the first question: how long has Prima had a commitment to the armed forces, and what started the support for it?
Well, I think Prima's supported the armed forces for many years now. 2 of our longest serving employees are both Cadet Force volunteers, and both have benefited from kind of flexible working and some additional leave to attend training events and exercises. So this approach has now led to Prima achieving the ERS Bronze Award. And following the new chairman, Nick Russell, taking ownership of the company within Russell Industries, we've now seen an increase in the recruitment of service leavers within Prima and across the Russell Industries group. I must stress that this is only part of the recruitment strategy, and it's not 100% military that come into the businesses. I myself am an ex-major. I served in the Corps of Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers for about 15 years before making the leap into the civilian world of work. And I'm now Nick's Chief of Staff. Across the wider Russell Industries group now, we've recruited a few more veterans and reservists, and as the group's armed forces champion, I'm hoping that now COVID restrictions are relaxing a little bit, that we'll be able to do a bit more of an active part in supporting the armed forces in 2022, and hopefully build on the silver award this year to get the gold award the next time it comes around.
Okay, yeah. What are the advantages of employing people who have or are serving in the armed forces?
I think this is an odd question for me to answer, as I'm a product of that military system, but I'll give it a bash anyway. There's the obvious things that people will often jump to immediately, I think. The discipline, turning up on time, being able to follow orders, working under pressure, and having a sharp haircut. But I think all of these I would support, but there's as a recent service leaver, and I only left in November last year, which is possibly a risky move during COVID, my fear was that I wouldn't have the necessary vocational skills to succeed in business. But I think the Army does give you that universally recognised qualification in general. So I left as a chartered engineer and a chartered manager, and most service leavers, in addition to their kind of professional military vocation, will have been given the opportunity to do other training and gain civilian recognised accreditation in a whole host of areas, from electrical engineering to dog handling or surveying to commercial diving. It's vast and wide, and it's a professional military these days, and you don't just get someone who's good at shooting a weapon. But one of the biggest advantages I'd say that you get from a service leaver is the values and standards which are instilled into the individual right from training. Those of selfless commitment, respect for others, loyalty, integrity, self-discipline and courage. And I think this is really what you get from a service leaver. And I think that's what they take into any sort of role, and they will normally give everything to that, especially when you leave and you're a little bit scared of stepping out of an organisation that you've been in since you were a school leaver. Okay.
Yeah, actually, some of those guys, the reserves that you've got, have they done anything overseas? Have they been called up to do anything overseas, or?
Not yet. I mean, the majority of the guys that we've got within Prima at the moment, myself excluded. So we have 2 ex-service leavers and 2 cadet force volunteers within Prima. So the cadet force volunteers are, heavily involved in the regional activity of cadet force, and myself and our commercial ops manager, we've not had the unfortunate call to go and help anywhere else, because I'm not sure that we could step straight into it. It might take a little bit of training, but so the answer is no, we haven't yet.
Okay, yeah. I mean, what is it, roughly a year then? So the reservists you've got, is that what, a couple of weeks a year that they need additional?
Yeah, so generally you'd be expected to go. You can go to training once a week, but there's a minimum you're expected to do. However, you do normally have to go to an annual summer camp or summer exercise where you do a couple of weeks. But within Prima, we've got a specific armed forces or reservists policy which allows you to then go and do that and either take some unpaid leave, or you're given some additional leave to go away and do that, which is really beneficial because many employers probably wouldn't allow that.
Okay. Yeah, and last question. Now that the company has a new managing director, what are the positive changes to be expected going forward?
Well, Prima's continually investing in new equipment in our facility in Cambridge to improve the efficiency and the quality. And we're constantly looking to recruit skilled staff across all areas of the business and actively expanding our operations. I think we've already diversified our services in the past kind of couple of years from simple PCBA manufacture, I say simple, complex PCBA manufacture, to design and layout services, box build and rework. We're doing all sorts of exciting things with exciting customers at the moment. We're using new technology and processes to support the ambitious growth of the chairman and the managing director. We regularly engage with the Institute for Manufacturing to improve operations, and we bring students in from the IFM to really kind of kickstart some of the projects that we might not have the space and time to do ourselves. And that really benefits us in the long term. And we've already seen some gains that we've kind of improved our services and invested in our kind of kit and equipment. The new MD has really taken the chairman's vision for Prima and turned it into that operational success. And already this year, we've had to rent some additional floor space for the growing business. And actually throughout COVID, Prima has managed to remain buoyant, successful, and has seen positive growth. Okay, yeah. Right, so I think that concludes everything. So yeah, thank you to everyone. Really interesting speaking to you. And please join us in 2 weeks' time for the next Made TV Live and the Editor's Pick. So thank you to everyone.
Thank you.